which is kind of in the same seasonal slot, but on the other side of the wheel of the year.
Right.
From where spring and fall, So I just thought that was kind of an interesting connection there. Now, in the U.S. and Canada, Candlemas has been replaced largely by the media with Groundhog Day. None of this cool stuff. It's Groundhog Day. So, which is a cool movie, too.
Very cool movie.
Filmed not far from here, as a matter of fact. At least some of it was. Some of the external stuff was filmed in... I can see it, and I can't think of the name of the town right now. It's northwest of Chicago. Way up there.
Poughkeepsie?
No. That's a little too far. So, yeah. All right. So where are we at now? We've been at this for a little bit here. I'm thinking now, before we go into the next couple of things here, I'm thinking now might be an interesting time for a break for two reasons. Because I haven't talked this much in a couple of days since the class Wednesday night, and I need to wet my whistle. But also, we finally have the first of two promos that, as members of the RFN Radio Network, we get to run on this show too. I'm still waiting to get the promo for Shadows on the Wall Paranormal Radio, which permission clearance will be able to get that pretty soon, I hope. But in the meantime, we do have a promo for, you guys have heard me talk about it before, one of my favorite haunted locations in the area, Whispers Estate, down in Mitchell, Indiana. So I'm going to take a quick break here and wet my whistle and relax my, because I feel like I'm talking really fast or kind of mush mouth today. Take a breath and check this out about Whispers Estate, guys. Hang on.
What if I told you that there was a house that was truly haunted, and it was waiting quietly, patiently, for your arrival? What if I told you that it's the most beautiful, 3,700 square foot Victorian home that houses some of the strangest things you could ever experience? In Mitchell, Indiana, there is such a house where some of the things that you thought you could only find in your nightmares become your reality. Every night at Whispers Estate, visit www.whispersestate.com for more information, including reserving time to visit and become one with the house where the walls really do talk. Whispers Estate. Every house has a story to tell. This one will haunt you. Visit www.whispersestate.com for details. If you're not afraid.
How was that, you guys? I love that promo, and I love that house. Man, that house is great. I hope I get to get back there at some point soon enough. And I'm enjoying my little sip here of the last of my pumpkin spice coffee until next week. They should sell that year-round. I don't care. That should be available on the shelves year-round.
You know, you can also take coffee from a regular coffee tin, and you could add pumpkin pie spice. Just a thought.
It's not the same. Maybe. I think I've tried that, actually. Put it on top of the grounds before I run the thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember if I liked it or not.
I like ginger in my coffee all the time.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. Back to it. Because we'll talk about food stuff for the rest of the evening, Sylvia and I. All right, so we were talking about Imbolc, and that was pretty cool. And we had, actually, I think we had to cancel. Something came up and we had to cancel our celebration of it this year, it seems like. Either that or I wasn't able to go. One of the two things happened. Ostara, though, I was able to get to. And that was amazing, partly because this year it was also a full moon. Oh, well, the full moon is about 2 days later, but we celebrated it the same day. Pardon me. So, Ostara is the second of the three springtime holidays, or sabbats. Some people pronounce it sabbat, S-A-B-B-A-T. I like it sabbat. I don't know. Maybe I'll be corrected one day about that. Corresponding holidays are Easter and Passover. It is the spring equinox is the focus of this particular holiday. It is an even balance of light and dark. The name comes from Ostara, a Germanic goddess of spring, fertility, planting, new crop season, bunnies. Sylvia doesn't like bunnies, guys. But Rocky sure does. As a snack.
That's right. He's saving me from them.
Yes. One day, if she lets me, I'll tell you that story. Anyhow, I came across this story when I was reading over more in-depth information about Ostara. Mithras. The story of the legend of Mithras, legend story. He is a Roman god, and his story kind of parallels the story of Christ in the sense that he was born at the winter solstice, Yule or Christmas, and he was resurrected at this time of year at what we call Ostara. And he helps his followers ascend into the light after their passing. So some people see that as a parallel. He's popular among the Roman military. And the story is that the sun ordered him to sacrifice a white bull, which Mithras did not want to do. But he followed his instruction, and upon the knife entering the bull became the moon, and Mithras' cloak became the night sky. And where the white bull's blood fell, flowers grew, and grain sprouted from the tail. I had not heard that one before. And I kind of like it. It's kind of a cool image in a way. Even though you're killing a bull. But I thought that was interesting. This holiday is centered around March 21st, of course, which is the spring equinox itself. Different celebrations that happen for Ostara, of course, are planting. Plant your stuff. Plant your seedlings. I have a couple of friends that have posted pictures of seedlings of pumpkins that they started, that they're looking forward to harvesting in the fall, of course. And hopefully you and I will get a chance to do some planting this year. Hopefully. We'll see how that goes. Things are a little in flux right now, but, we'll mainly the weather being the thing, if once Mother Nature gets her equilibrium, we may have a better chance of successfully doing this. But celebrations definitely revolve around renewal and rebirth. A lot of people celebrate Ostara simply by spending time in nature. Take a walk in the woods. They'll walk in the woods, in the park. Take a walk in the rain, which I did a couple of days ago, whether I wanted to or not. Normally, I don't mind that, but it was really cold. It was like in the upper 30s. It was a little chilly. But I've also been noticing, personally, the return of the insects. I'm starting to see bugs flying around. And this, I think, is the first year that I can really consciously, like in the front of my head, recognize that I was noticing that. And it was exciting. Because, me and bugs. But, yeah, she's wincing too. But seeing them, a couple of them flying around here and there, it's pretty exciting because I know that it means that spring is coming and the more consistent warm weather is coming and I can sit outside and blah, blah, blah. Now, one thing that my temple and I did last week when we got together, this was really cool. One of the things that we're doing this year, we decided to do for full moon celebrations, is instead of every month doing like a full circle and calling the elements and calling the spirit and doing an act of magic and blah, 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 what we're doing is as a community, one extended act of magic throughout the year, or however long we decide it takes. And what we've done is we have gathered staffs, basically, or if people want to do smaller pieces, smaller branches, they can do a wand. And what we're doing is we're taking our staffs and we are creating them the way that we want to be able to use them in whatever capacity we want to use them. Whether they be walking sticks for hiking or what have you, Or in my case, I finally picked one last week, and it turns out that mine's going to be more ceremonial. I have another one that if I want to use it for hiking, I'll use it for hiking, but this one's going to be more ceremonial. It's just really cool. In fact, we had to cut it down by a couple of feet because it was really tall. And we cut it off at the bottom a couple of feet, and there's a bit of what looks like grapevine. There's a vine wrapped around it all the way up, and I really enjoyed that. And so mine's going to end up being kind of rugged. A lot of other people are sanding theirs down and doing really serious work with them, and shaving stuff and this and that, and wood burning and all this kind of stuff, and it's great. But when I finally picked the branch that is going to become my staff, we weren't sure, first off, how sturdy it is. So can it be a walking, hiking thing? We don't know. But I like the vining around it. So what I did is I went through and I pulled off the loose bark that was there. I'm leaving the rest, leaving it as it is, nice and rugged. And then we're going to take some pitch. And at key points where the vine is wrapped around it, we're going to attach the vine to the staff so it doesn't keep flaking off and disappear in 2 uses. And then whatever else I decide to wrap around it or attach to it, we'll do as we go along. And that's the point of this, is that every month when we get together for full moon and work on these, there's a sense of community that's going into these, the energy of community, the sense of ourselves and our journey. And even the journey we take throughout this year, because we started this, I think, 2 months ago. And the journey throughout this year, our journey can shift and change, and we can reflect this on our staff based on what we decide to add to it. So we thought this was a really cool idea to do, and so we did some of that last week. We got together on Sunday. I got to spend the whole day. It was great. And we did that for the first part of the day we actually did something different. I'm not sure if I told you about this yet, Sylvia.
I don't think so.
I don't know. We'll see. So we were talking about different Easter traditions that we had growing up. And we went around the room and kind of people shared, well, there was this and there was, taking pictures of the Easter bunny. And, those of you on Facebook have seen quite a few hilarious pictures, just like Santa Claus with the freaking out kids on the lap and, just funny stuff like that. And one thing that came up consistently was Easter egg hunts. And I remember last year when we celebrated Ostara, we did that. We did an Easter egg hunt in our temple, and it was the little plastic eggs, and we put coins in each one, because that was a tradition too with a lot of kids, that there's coins in the eggs. When we were, I'm getting ahead of myself there. We decided to kind of revisit the concept of an Easter egg hunt, but in much more modern terms. So my brother Jerry talked to us about this thing I didn't even know about. It's called geocaching. Have you heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had not until last week. And I heard about this, and I could not believe that this thing actually, it's, when I first heard it, I was like, seriously? But then the more it was described, it's an amazing thing. And it's a worldwide event, you guys. And if you guys don't know what this is, there are actually apps you can download to your phone for this. Okay? And people have left meaningful things in different locations anywhere in the world. And then on these apps, and there are free ones that I hear are okay. There's one that I think is maybe $10. I don't remember if it was $10 a month or $10 period. But that's the one that a lot of people use that really gets into, it shows you maps based on GPS. And when people hide, quote unquote, hide a cache, and that is spelled CACHE, then they enter it into this app. And then people who are looking for the caches follow this app, the map, and the map gets you close, but it's not going to show you necessarily exactly where this thing is. So it gets you into the area within a few dozen yards, and then you get to look around for this thing where it's hidden.